Hey guys, welcome to the channel. We are going to go over something that I find super exciting, and it is Black Widow fight scenes. What? It is super exciting. I got asked to go over some Captain America fight scenes, but, hashtag represent, but I wanted to go through something that didn't have to necessarily follow the same rules as Captain America, because he's a super soldier, he's got super serum in him, he doesn't necessarily have to follow the same rules. You know, he doesn't have to use people's bodies against him or anything like that. So, yeah, let's just get right down to it. So, this is, I think, from Iron Man 1 or 2. I want to say Iron Man 2. When Natasha Romanoff is spying on Iron Man or whatever. This is Happy Hogan, and this is fantastic. I think that this is where they do the little wrist lock guy.
Off your opponent.
Yeah, because she goes up to get Tony Stark to sign something or do something like that, and then she just goes. That's a great lock. You can totally tell that this is a stunt guy. Obviously, this is probably a stunt girl as well. But this right here, with this punch to the face, catching it and going into that is a little bit far-fetched. But this lock right here, if you guys are one of my students, you guys already know that the number 2 lock. You're going to push in and then push out, and all that does is it stretches out the wrists. I think if this is a cracking noise, let's listen. You wouldn't hear a cracking noise. Most likely you're not going to break any bones right there, but you're going to tear all those muscles and ligaments pretty quickly. I think she's probably reaching around his neck and then going to fling him over her body. Notice how she's posting on this arm. In theory, you could do this. And sorry for my roommate. He is probably washing the dishes. Okay, so she is posting with this arm on the floor so that she can push up and get these feet right around his head, and then she's most likely going to interlock her feet and then pull her right over the top. In theory, it should be good. You can totally do this. In practice, maybe not. It's very presumptuous that you'd be able to get this.
We gotta get these bitches out of here.
Ooh, we've got another lock right here. So this is really cool. This is a variation on your number 4. It's kind of a mixture between your arm bar, but it's also focusing more on the wrist lock. So this is another really good example of when somebody actually honestly uses somebody else's momentum against them. I'm sure, being a tiny little Russian lady, she is not very strong. So she's going to use people's body and momentum against them more often than being able to, beat people down and punch them down, which is awesome. So let's see how that was it. So let's watch one more time. So she comes up right behind and she gets that perfect number 4. She's got both hands right on that wrist. Not the number 4 lock, but the 4th lock in our 8-point lock flow that we've got. And then from there, she slides up to get the shoulder so that she can get in closer and make him probably a little bit more afraid so that she can talk to him and get a conversation out.
And you tell me who's behind this. Who's behind this?
Oh, this is a fantastic scene. Okay, so this is when Natasha Romanoff is getting in to try to disable the, doohickeys. Happy Hogan's in the back fighting this guy over here. It's fantastic. Don't you just want one of those so bad? I want one of those so bad. You guys have no idea. You guys have no idea. I want one so bad. That would be so cool. Also, this is a really smooth transition. She definitely has clearly done this before. Front flip, taking both shoulders down on a feet. That's pretty ninja-like. That right there. If you're small enough and he's big enough, I don't see why you couldn't do this little slide hammer fist to the groin. Especially if he's coming and tasing you right here. If he's got this guy out and he's gonna just come stab you, he might take that wide, kind of tackle-ish stance so he can catch you or tase you or do something, because he's not trying to immobilize or kill you. He just wants to tase you so that you can't continue to break into this facility. But if you were on top of it enough that you could, slide underneath them and hit them in the groin, do it. Mr. Johnson would love that. Oh, that's such a cool stance. Just need to... And picture. You guys have probably seen that before, but that's just... She's so ready. Not a bad takeaway, actually. That is called a Kong. So you got your feet in front of you and you push your hands out behind you as you go over this person. It's more of like a vault than a like press down. So this stuntman is definitely being a little nice to her, to be in the perfect position for her to do that Kong, to get into this kind of like double leg kick kind of thing. So she can get this neck throw, which would be super sick. Yeah. The fact that she landed on her feet after that was probably really impressive. She's probably wired up, which means that she's got like things pulling her up. But if you trained hard enough and you had a partner who could help you kind of catch you as you were like getting your legs around, and then you could fully interlock your legs and then do a full spin out of that and then set you kind of down, you'd end up in a different position, but you could still land on your feet, which would be pretty sick. So any of my karate kids, if you guys want to try this out, you let me know and we'll figure out how we can get it done in a self-defense. More electrical things. Oh, those are explodey things. This is a inverted ground sweep. So as she's coming here, you will notice that she takes the direction the toes are pointing. Now, obviously, the stuntman is planning on falling, but this foot is coming down this direction, so she is doing it pretty fantastically, actually. So she's going to come in this way. She's using her entire body. She actually put her butt on the ground as well and didn't just stay on her knee, which is totally fine too. If you need to aim harder or you need to do something to this guy. If this is tear gas, I don't know why she doesn't feel it, but maybe these are kind of like flashbangs. But she comes right back up on that knee, so she just kind of got extra momentum by letting herself fall even farther onto that knee and then kick through all the way into that sweep, which was pretty sick, gotta say. We do similar things. We like to take it from this foot and stick this foot out while this knee's on the ground so that we can keep our head and body facing the other opponent, which either way, but she got to do an extra little cool spin so that she can come up and then do this little jump on your knee. I would say that if you're going to do that little knee kick thing right there, when you come like this, I would say that this is probably for the picture. But if you were going to use like a chicken kick or something, you would want to take that up to a place where, like their hip, where they can't take it away from you and remove the ground that you're using to stand on. So if she moved her foot up here, of course it would make her more horizontal, which would make this kick not look as pretty. But you could, in theory, do this as well, where you take that foot and you set it right on their hip, and then use that hip to literally push yourself up in the air and come over the top with a roundhouse or a side kick or something, which would be pretty sick. I don't know that you would want to kick him here and then spin all the way around. It looks like this kick didn't get all the way extended on this take. Let's see. Yeah, can you see how her leg stayed bent the whole time? She's doing that ballerina pose, which means she's probably wired up and just had a perfectly timed spin with this guy flying away, rather than actually doing a kick. But when you do kicks, if you want your kick to be effective, you have to hit through the target. And if you hit and then keep spinning, your foot is going to touch them and move them and then move on without continuing that momentum all the way through. So if you were going to knock somebody out with a single kick, you have to get them right on the jaw and then keep pushing through as your foot comes back through. So I would say that she would want her foot to be going off in this direction and then come down here and then address the next thing. It's not going to look as pretty, but it will be similar. She should be almost falling on top of this guy if her kick is to have the strength to knock somebody out or to give them a concussion or to break a jawbone or something like that. You're going to definitely want to keep that momentum going directly into the place that you're going in a straight line. So you take it like this rather than trying to get a curve, because any kind of curve motion means that your momentum is tethered to something else, not going into your target. Anyway, still super sick. Wires are a great way to give yourself a little bit of extra time to block something. She could have also done like an X block. This is the exact same attack as capturing the storm, which is a club technique that we teach you. This is probably the most common way somebody's going to attack you with a club, especially if you're shorter than them, because they're not going to want to like sweep you in the body and then hit you in the head. They're going to want to quickly get you knocked out in whatever way they can. There's 3 rules when it comes to club, knife, and gun techniques, rule number 1 is you get out of the line of attack, which means as something's coming, he still has the ability to unflex his wrist. His wrist is flexed, and then he can press it forward and still hit you with the club. And it doesn't necessarily need to be as powerful because it is probably a metal or some other type wood, maybe a baseball bat or something like that. Not obviously not here, but in general with that little whip, and even that can hurt you a whole bunch, give you a giant goose egg on your head, or even knock you out or crack your skull if they have enough momentum still from their hit. Because you could stop them and then they just flex that wrist and they just carry that momentum into the strike. So you move your head out of the way so that you can keep your vitals, totally intact and totally on point. The other thing that you will want to do, though, is you want to get both of your hands on the weapon, right? So she's going to probably use this, wrap it around, and then get some other leverage somehow. But I would still recommend that, honestly, getting closer to having your hands where his hand is gives you the most control over that individual weapon. I mean, clubs will hurt you. It's like you don't want to get hit in the face with a baseball bat or a metal pipe or any of that kind of stuff. So keeping yourself as close to that weapon and having the best control over it that you possibly can is what you definitely want to get. The third rule is you want to get behind the weapon. So as you get out of the line of attack, both hands on the weapon, then you want to get all the way behind the weapon and take his space. The safest place is where he is. He's not hitting himself, therefore he'd have to come back and then try and push you away and then get leverage on you. It's not the most ideal place for a bad guy to be hitting you, which is good. You don't want it to be an ideal place for him to hit you. You want to be in the worst place that he has, so you have the best chance of getting out of that. But let's continue to see what she's got. So she didn't follow any of the rules, unfortunately, which means that if this guy really did want to hit her, this guy is humongous. Humongous. All right? She is tiny. When this hit comes over the top, he's going to have so much momentum. In fact, if you guys have ever broken a board with a hammer fist, right, it's probably your strongest thing. That's what's happening here. And this lady is saying overhead press can stop that. His entire body weight, his entire momentum. So it's if this guy is let's say he weighs 200 pounds, right, which is probably less than what he weighs. But if he weighs 200 pounds plus that force, he could get up to 300 or 400 psi, pounds per square inch, right at the edge of his wrist right here as he comes down, which she's catching roughly 300 pounds of force with a little tiny wire between her hands. That's a little far-fetched. But is it totally couldn't happen? I guess not. But it also, she didn't fully stop the momentum. You can see that his hand didn't move anywhere. To stop momentum takes time. So clearly, watch his hand from this point. His hand didn't move, which is showing you that this is movie magic. He got here, he stopped, and then let Natasha Romanoff beat him up. But right here, I do like this a lot, where she is getting in, hitting him in the knee, moving him back. If you've seen our John Wick video, you've seen that is totally accurate. Moving people off balance when you're smaller than them or they are doing things right is super important. Getting these punches, taking that little neck guy. I love how she has the battle awareness to keep her hand connected to that guy as well as fight these other guys. When you fight multiple individuals at the same time, you never want to find yourself in the center of a crowd. That's just how you get ganged up on, and you can't really do anything about that. You'll get hit by 2 or 3 of them all at the same time, and then you're kind of screwed. However, what you should be doing is either trying to use one of them as like a shield, where you can let them beat up on you, which is weird to say, but it's better than being beat up by 2 or 3 individuals at the same time. So you let them hit you a whole bunch of times while you're sitting in your guard stance or you're protecting yourself however you know how, while trying to take them out of the equation and not letting them all come at you at the same time. So you pick one person, and another way that you can do this is you line them up. So you have 1, 2, 3, however you want to do it. If you're fighting 2 people at the same time, you have 1, 2, and all that kind of stuff. So one of the ideas here is, I think she's picking one person, moving on to the next person. Now they're bringing the line into her, but she's still following that rule, kind of. So let's keep going. Fighting one person at a time, keeping the other one in check as best she can. This is definitely helped by this guy because he's not really doing anything. He's getting ready to pepper spray her, which I love, but it is probably pretty accurate. Let's see where she grabs. If she grabs his shoulder, yeah. So right here, I could totally see that. He reaches his arm back, so that she can have a better place to get in. But see, I'll show you. Let's even do it in our handy dandy slow motion. So she starts from here. She sees her target. Hit him one time. This guy's just freaking out. But she could have hit him really well. See how he reaches that arm back? But she does grab the shoulders, which is good because she'll have control and be able to manipulate him a whole bunch better. She swings both legs up together. That was a cut right there. Oh, I went too far back. I think this is good. Let's watch it one more time. Grabs the shoulder, good. He leans that arm back for her. Can you see how her back leg was close enough to his head, which is totally fine. It means that they didn't just do this in one shot, which is even more impressive that this lady can do this a whole bunch of times. But this little grab right here, let's see if she interlocks her feet. So she never interlocked her feet, which means that this is just a manipulation. So she's actually back in the place that she started, except her head is on the other side because she reached underneath his arm to grab his shoulder this way. And now that she's done that, she's gone all the way around his whole neck. So she's now underneath that arm. So she went all the way around his body, and is doing this. Now, the reason why she would need to lock her legs is because this guy probably doesn't want to fall down, but she's going to pull him down with the momentum she just gained from going in that huge circle. But it's dangerous to do that because this guy's solar plexus is going to come flying straight on the floor. I must need some breakfast. My stomach just made a huge noise. Anyway, the idea here is if she had those legs interlocked, she could pull him down and flop his solar plexus right onto the ground. But she's actually taking it into an arm throw. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know why you would do all of this work for an arm throw. See, right there, you'd have a really good opportunity to throw. And also, her arm is not in that right position. This is a movie trickery, I think. Look at her right arm as it slowly comes around and how it's underneath her back and now it's in front of him. Can you guys see that? How it goes from all the way around. Look, freeze right here. Her right arm is right here. Her left arm is on top of his shoulder, but her right arm is behind his back. But in this instance, I believe this is her right arm now in front of his neck that can do this throw. So, no. But also, this throw right here would be much better served as a hip throw. If you would have been able to get all the momentum and have your arm in front, this would be fine. She's just not in that position to throw in this case. Yeah, not bad. I love how she's always in that, like, I just killed somebody, look at me, and now I'm, like, in this knee bend stance. Like, she's superhero lands after everything. I love it. It's my favorite thing. Cool. No. Because if you don't see something coming, and he's already extended, 2 things. She got hit if his arm is extended. Nobody extends their arm to hit somebody and then pushes their body behind it. They just hit you. And even if you're like have some sixth sense, like some spidey sense that comes behind, right here, right? If this guy's come in and she hears him, right? Maybe she hears that he's throwing a punch, but how would she know with which hand? It might not matter to her, but maybe he's also throwing a kick. Maybe he is going to shoot her with a gun. It's a good thing he's not, because if you arm is extended, he pulls the trigger. So, definitely movie magic right here. Don't ever think you can do that, because you will get beat the heck up. And if this is pepper spray, why is no pepper spray coming out? He didn't even try to spray her. It's fine. I'm mad at these people. Punch in the face. Nope. Arm lock. Cool. This is your number 5 lock, so not too bad. Did it just skip? Let's see. Cool throw. Superhero landing. And Spidey sense. It must be this arm. Capture it. Now, that right there, too, is presumptuous. You will never, ever just catch a punch. We talked about that in the first one with Happy Hogan punching him in the face. It's just too much. You're just not going to be able to do it. But number 5 right there into number 2. Yep, number 2. Steals the pepper spray. Elbows in the face. Spinning hook kick. Didn't even touch him. Oh, I'm sorry, I went too far back. Number 5 lock into a number 2 lock. Now, oh man, I did it again. Okay. The number 5 lock into the number 2 lock, you do not have to get the wrist in order to affect it as much. It is better when you get this little push, but if you have this arm like that, you should be okay. Elbow in the face, definitely got hidden. I don't know why he's falling down. You can also see a little bit that the stuntman this is choreography. Because look at the stuntman's eyes and how he is orienting himself so that he can go off of her like momentum and speed in the case. For anybody who's ever done a self-defense with somebody who knows what they're doing, if you practice it enough, you don't have to do this. You just trust that they'll be in the exact right position, which means that it actually looks better than this little articulation right here. However, in this case, he knows that this kick is going to come. He's looking for the kick. She's going to flip around and do this little doohickey right here. You would want to hit with this area right here, kind of like your lower Achilles to your calf, and she's probably going to hit with like her upper calf and then her knee. So it makes it look like you get the extension on the kick while he's going to fall down, making you believe that he got kicked. Which when you watch this at normal speed, it's really hard to tell. You just kind of, these things flow together, of course. And especially because she flowed all the way through, which is keeping her ground. So this case, even though the kick missed, she was just being nice to her partner, but she kept her ground. So this case, this kick could cause some serious damage. Spinning hook kick to the back of the neck, just whiplash all day long, smack your face on the floor if you get knocked out, break all your nose, you could lose some teeth from hitting the floor, you could fracture your skull if it was strong enough. Oh, evil walk. I like it. And that's exactly what should have happened to her just a second ago. This dude should just have stayed back 6 feet. If you've ever learned how to spray pepper spray, you don't need to be right here for it to be effective. You can be really far away. And as long as it gets in your eye even a tiny bit, you're done. So this is the most accurate thing that we've seen all day, because that's what pepper spray is for. This guy came up earlier and was like, and didn't even press this pepper spray. He should have started spraying her way beforehand. So bad security guarding from that guy. Happy Hogan came. Cool. We'll watch. That was pretty good. All right. So to break it down, movie magic is fun. It is super awesome to see a lot of those fight scenes play out. In a 30-second fight scene, we saw a whole bunch of stuff happen. We saw her run down, use some flashbangs, flip around, do some cool kicks, jump around, spin, capture a guy with a club. It's pretty impressive. Fight 3 guys at once while attacking the other guy at the same time. Capture the guy with some pepper spray who doesn't use it. Do a special kind of throw. Bring it all the way around. Capture this guy who has pepper spray and doesn't use it. And then proves that she could have used it. All right? Super, super quick. When you watch it in normal speed, you would never know that any of these things could have happened. And on your first viewing, you sit there and you're just like, oh, that was so cool. I want to be like Natasha Romanoff. Like, I want to be the Black Widow, which is sick. And you can definitely do that. In fact, I think with training, you guys can make things look even better than she did. It's pretty impressive. Anyway, if you like what you saw and you guys want to see some more, then go ahead and comment down below what you guys would like to see. If you guys would like to have me attempt a challenge or show you guys how to do some tumbling tricks, then let me know in the comments down below as well. Leave a like. It helps us out. And if you guys would like to support us even more, you can join our Patreon. The link will be in the description below. And I will see you guys next time. Rock on.